Hi and welcome. In a fast changing pace, people, processes, economies, everything is changing very fast. The buzzwords from AI to Gen Z, all these things are coming into conversation. And yet, continuous learning and grit are two things that's keeping the world together. As we discuss this area today, we have with us an old friend, a colleague of the HR Association of Sri Lanka, and of course, the Vice President of IFS. Thilanka, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic this early morning. Thank you very much for inviting me today.
Good to have you. I know you for some time, but talk to us about your upbringing, who you are. Who is Thilanka as a kid, as a growing up teenager, and a professional?
Interesting question. Goes back to my childhood. I mean, I would call it's a, I was born to a middle class family. Mom was a teacher, dad was a ardent banker, almost 36, 37 years of service. Happy childhood. I mean, I still talk to my daughter about my childhood. It has been amazing. I mean, how you spend 2-3 hours just making the play area that you want to have, because not like those days, these days where you have all the toys, everything around you. I mean, if you want to do a role play, you have to get everything done. So it's amazing because you could just jump to the other side of your neighbor's land and then play around it, run around and go climb the walls. It was such a happy childhood with a lot of cousins around me. So, I mean, if I go back to my childhood, it's always very happy memories. So growing up has been happy. But of course, with that understanding of, you have to find your own path. I'm so grateful for my amazing parents who never had kind of, given me, oh, this is what you have to do. This is your path. You find what you like to do. Experimented different things. Then I realized, I like linguistic studies. Let me just try that out. None of my parents knew what that was. This was 25-30 years ago. Everything was very different, right? Information was not on a fingertip. So I preferred to kind of follow the path of linguistic studies, which I did, and somehow I entered a state university. I to date think that's one of the turning points in my life. Having studied in a Colombo school and going to University of Kelniya gave me the opportunity to meet people from different walks of life. Amazing bunch of undergrads that I met. It gave me different perspectives of life, where people come from, challenges that they have. I think I became really grounded in my life. This university experience kind of gave me another fantastic opportunity. I met with a young, energetic bunch of kids. They're part of an organization called ISAC. That again was probably another area that really changed my life, where I was introduced to this something called human resources, which I didn't know what it was because I'm just a linguistic student, right? And found this organization. Then I was asked to kind of, do whatever you can do to change things, figured things out, and realized, oh, there is onboarding, there is people management, leadership. Everything was kind of done practically. Then I thought, let me just go learn this out a little bit as well. So then I went and studied HR a little bit more. Then I was really lucky to find an internship also in a great organization in Sri Lanka. And I'm still in the same field.
Wow. There's a funny paradox. They say to be able to be good at something, specialize something, that you need to sample a lot of things and then find your way. And when you find that only that passion, you find your passion in it, you find your grounding, and you move on. In this day and age, specialization is known as, well, do this one thing and do it to a great depth, and you like it. We assume that you will automatically like it. So you actually did quite a bit of sampling before you got there, from linguistics to HR.
Yep.
And that's excellent. You were talking about adversity. Talk to me about, if you may, an occasion that you've had adversity and how you challenged it, how you faced it.
I mean, absolutely fantastic question. It gives an opportunity to reflect a lot. Adversity was there in my life in different stages. I mean, starting the university career, because I said it's the time that I was introduced to this space called HR. The first adversity is I'm getting into this organization when they were about to close it down.
Okay.
And they're saying, Kalani University chapter will not continue anymore because there's no contribution. So had to kind of start everything from scratch and really try things out differently, think out of the box, galvanize a lot of people around me, let them understand the passion that I have or we had at that time, and follow us or contribute us. Kind of, that's a lot of energy was required, to be very honest. But then I believed in it. I was really, really passionate in it because I knew that the outcome, the impact that we were trying to make was extremely positive. Even though people didn't realize it, that's what we were trying to do back then. Since myself and bunch of people around me believed in it, that really pushed me. So that's one, probably at a very early stage of my life, I would say. Not even career. In the career, if I kind of, since you asked that question, it gave me the opportunity to think about it. I got the amazing opportunity to go to a different country. This was India, a neighboring country. And go and set a business in India. That was one of the toughest experience I've had. There was a lot of adversity there because this was during COVID time. I was in the middle of setting it up slightly before COVID, and then we had to run the business during that time. And now I'm in a country where I don't speak the language. I don't understand the culture as much as I do in Sri Lanka. I had to recruit people. I had to retain them. I had to deliver the business objectives. There's a lot of challenges, but I think that probably challenges, I think personally, I've realized that about myself, that more and more challenges are there. I get motivated by that. There's more adversity, my passion gets sharpened and sharpened, and I feel like delivering it. So yes, I can think of many more such experiences. I mean, even my current experience, if I'm to share, because I'm longest of my career, probably about 15 years of my career, I was in FMCG category. Known industry for me. That's where I started my career. I was very familiar. I knew the business. It was very easy for me to business partner. Now then I decided 4 years ago, completely switch the career, or the industry rather, move into IT, which I didn't know anything about. I had to learn everything from scratch because we know for a fact, I mean, you being a HR professional, that, for us to make an impact, you need to know the core of the business.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm no IT expert. I have not done any IT degree as such, but I had to really make an effort to learn what this business is. And I didn't have a single friend from that industry. So a lot of effort in the first year to understand what these people are talking about. Because there's a lot of technical jargon, and then because you wouldn't make any relevant solutions to the business if you don't understand. So that was another experience for me, which really made me to think that I had that grit, the perseverance to really deliver things because I believe in it and I could drive that. Yeah.
Do you believe, Thilanka, that it's a inborn inner thing that brings it out? Some people, some personalities have it and others don't? Or how do we cultivate this? Is it something that can be cultivated?
I personally believe it can be cultivated. It's about the environment that you are in. It's about the people that you are associating. It could be seniors, it could be peers, it could be role models that you watch and like look up to. And again, it's the experiences that you're going through.
Right.
These are the, I would say, the learning partners that you have around. I strongly believe that it can be cultivated.
Okay. Because a lot of people say they prefer not to put that effort. They want a nicer balance. I don't want to do anything more. Some say we are obsessed with it. I know I really want to do it badly, long term as well. So that's why I asked the question. We do so many psychometric tests and so many things in HR to figure out whether they have that inner, the rudiments, the important chemicals to keep running in terms of their personalities. Do you think that it's good to test these things and harness in people? What is your experience on this?
No, absolutely. I mean, if you look at a young intern who comes into your teams, right? And if you watch the path that they go through over the couple of years that they are with you, and just simply observing some of those people, how they progress based on, I mean, you can experiment that, right? Like, compared to one person who has really gotten the experience, another person who has not. Absolutely. I think I believe in that, if people are given the right opportunities, there's a lot of conversations with the colleagues that I am working even today that, I don't think I'm good at this. I don't have the qualifications to do it, right? Like as we speak, I have a conversation like that's going on. I don't have an HR qualifications but this individual is fantastic, has so much grit, perseverance, and extremely passionate and a great leader, but does not have any qualification as such. But my conversation now today, probably I'm after like 15 years of experience in the career, its qualification after a while becomes just a piece of paper. If you don't apply what you've gotten, not only the education qualification, if you look at even I started without any HR qualification. Later, I was passionate about it, and then I went and learned. I mean, we can grow people as long as we give them that right environment to grow. That, in my opinion, is in the leaders' hands, right? It doesn't mean that the leaders have to spoon feed. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in micromanagement. I believe in people really getting into things, making mistakes, and learning from those. And I can share multiple examples of how people have done that. And I myself, right? I myself, if I look back in my career, I would have done so many blunders. I'm just thinking, if my leaders didn't give me a second chance, I might not be here sitting here having this conversation with you. But I were given opportunities, given chances, and had those open conversations where I had the opportunity to reflect and grow. So, yeah.
When they talk about continuous learning and grit, one of the things that come up in literature is very much close to what you said. People who look at challenges with a smile and go, there comes another one. And of course, the support angle of it could be a spouse, it could be a boss, it could be a friend or a parent, which says, I got you. I understand you. I know what you're going through.
Yep.
Or I'm there for you. Or sometimes even a silent smile.
Yep.
Or like what my son does, he just does this. He does that. And you have a lovely daughter. How would you cultivate that grit in her if that is something that you would love to do?
Beautiful question. I think it's a everyday learning, to be very honest. I wouldn't say that I've got it, but I think this is where I am truly experimenting it, because I, from the day that she came to my hands and today till 10 years, I have a feeling I've done something, or we have done something or other, and my husband will be like, "Oh, where am I in this whole thing?" If he's listening to this. So I think both of us agreed that we will give her the best experience that we can give. When I say best experience, it's not about money, it's not about, it's not about that, right? It's about giving her the diverse experiences as much as possible that she can get, right? Again, a challenge is she's an only child. One can say that only children don't get the experience of siblings and sharing. So this was a challenge for us to make sure that she is constantly experiencing the company of other children. So things that we've done, given her, we've thrown different experiences, be it sports, be it extracurricular activities, be it pushing her into very different experiences in life. And one thing that we constantly do as parents, we believe that is right, we don't know yet to figure it out. At the end of all these experiences, we get into a conversation with her. It's that what both of us believe in, that reflection part of it. What have you learned? What was that one thing that you picked up in this whole experience that you went through today? I mean, they really surprise us, right? You and I have spoken about it, how they kind of, they are fantastic learning materials.
Absolutely.
And I'm really happy to say that how slowly, 10 years is very, very early in her age, but how she's picking up social cues, how she is becoming to be very aware of what's happening around her, little experiences that she's sharing from school, right? How she's aware of what's going through with her friends right now, looking at the emotional cues and what he or she said, how she felt, how I reacted. So it's beautiful to see how young person is growing up. And to be very honest, for me, it's not what I learned. It's vice. It's like, it's transferring in both ends. What I learn at workplace, I go and apply that at home. What I learn at home, I go and apply at workplace. Yeah. So because again, don't want to digress, but then my I don't believe in work-life balance. For me, it's integration, right? Like, because I operate in such a way that, oh, this is the time that I'm working, this is the time that I'm at home. For me, there's a lot of connection in all those. That for me, probably the passion and what I believe in, maybe it's very personal to me, but there's a lot of transferable knowledge and application that I have.
Of course. I went on that road for a reason, because in the modern day, in terms of psychology and therapy, they talk about parenting being an important integral part of shaping society. It is said that show me a 7-year-old boy and I will show you a 70-year-old man, because the brain cognitive development up to 7 is so powerful. Not that you don't grow beyond that, but you do exponentially until you're 7. So to cover that segment, knowing that you had a daughter, and as a coach, it's amazing the questions they come up with. We thought we learned coaching questions. Recently, my daughter walks up to me and asked me, Dada, how did that make you feel? And I'm going, okay, that was a coaching question. Yeah. So they become very, very smart.
Yeah.
Take the next layer. So in the IT industry, you work with a lot of young people. And with their way of thinking, this whole conversation today has exploded about Gen Zs and maybe even alphas coming in. But nevertheless, they're talking about young people. And young people think differently. And when you talk about grit, the perception, general perception is they feel they're entitled. Mm-hmm. They feel they give up easily. They don't keep going. If one does ever, they'll throw it and get another one. the fixing, the working, the ability to handle disappointment is very different from the so-called older generations. How do you work that component at work, and what are your thoughts revolving around that?
I mean, again, that's probably something that we are all grappling with, I would say. Um, I personally don't believe in labeling generations,
Yeah.
Gen Zs, Gen X, all these. It's good to kind of understand where we come from, because, to be honest, like, our experiences, different generations were different.
Yes.
And I spoke about it in my childhood, and how my child is now growing up with a lot of devices around her, and lot of information that she can just pick up. I mean, something that comes to my mind, like, we are planning a trip to Jaffna, and my husband has picked up a book from the library, Guide to Jaffna. It immediately kind of went into my mind. This is how we used to plan trips, right? Not like nowadays that we go to ChatGPT and plan my trip and give me. It's there. So, compared to how we were when we go on trips, we write our songs and take a songbook. Compared to that, today we have everything on our in our phone. So, I am, first of all, I am aware, or we are aware as an organization, that we have different generations that is there in the organization, and the people that we are attracting now are the youngest population who are coming into the workforce. It's about making sure that all these generations bring the best out of what they have, right? If we It's a constant conversation that I have with the leaders, and then looking at stats in our organization now, Gen Zs are also becoming people leaders, which is very interesting. And a Gen Z becoming a people leader and managing probably a millennial is going to be a very different experience. One would say that, oh, is that the right thing? In my opinion, it's fantastic, right? As long as people have that mindset of giving and receiving what's best in each other's spaces, right? And us as an organization, we are trying, right? I'm being very honest. We are trying to cultivate that, right? Making sure that everybody bring their best and then learn from each other, right? And we would never say that there's nothing to learn from a Gen Z, right? Like, let them do whatever they want. That's not the conversation. It's more of understand where they come from and harness the positivities and support them. And I agree with you, right? If I kind of look at them in that angle, I've seen more conversations around, I'm done with this, right? Like, 6 months, tell me what else. I mean, to be very honest, maybe that is someone who is asking for more experience, more exposure, hungry to learn. Look at those people and give them, right? Like, give them more opportunity to grow. It's just that we sometimes hide behind these labels and try to put them, this is how they are. And I don't think as a from a world perspective, we will never grow if we keep looking at these different labels and kind of, not progress. So I think it goes back to our original conversation in terms of lifelong learning.
Sure.
I mean, generations also give us learnings. It's a matter of how we learn how to coexist.
Very important. May I ask an industry specific one? Controversial one.
Mm-hmm.
It is said that in the IT industry, because they are technically sound and technical acumen is important, that the industry itself mollycoddles the younger generation. General statement. What are your thoughts?
Mollycoddles. I mean,
it's an odd word.
Yeah. To be honest, no time for that.
Okay.
I mean, what I see within our organization, the conversation that we are having, how fast things are moving, especially AI coming into the workplace rather, the pace that it's coming in. no time for mollycoddling. Everybody will have to kind of, jump into that. See, again, understanding the generations, probably the Gen Zs might jump in faster there and learn faster because they're agile. They're agile and they are quite familiar with what's coming in. Whereas stereotyping, whereas a millennial or someone else might take longer because we are slightly, again, I also fall into that generation, not too flexible. So that's why I go back to my previous point of, if we learn the best characteristics of each of these generations, it's going to be an amazing combination. Just that we are always looking at the negatives or the limitations of each generation, and we keep harping about it. If we switch that perspective and look at the positivities and then try and connect those, it's going to be an amazing combination, especially given how AI is coming in. Because there is this whole thing of AI will take our jobs. I mean, what we keep telling our employees is, it's not AI that's going to take your job. It's someone who knows AI is going to take your job. So if you don't quickly jump and learn what's out there, yes, there is a problem. So because it is coming to make your work efficient. Making your work efficient means you have more space to do things, more space to think, more space to innovate. And how do you use that time to really contribute to the industry? So going back to your question of mollycoddle, I know it was a controversial question, but the conversations are now, we have to run fast.
Faster.
Just get on with it. And yes, challenges are there. Let's run fast together.
Absolutely. When anybody talks about how difficult they are having it right now, I try to remind them of different decades, whether that may have been country at a 83 and 89, the world, meltdown financially, to so many situations. And yet each generation, each era, we will have different challenges.
Absolutely.
And that's what you are crystallizing perfectly well. To perhaps end our conversation, I'd like to ask your advice on people continuing their learning. So when you switch on Facebook or something, they say, if you're over 45 and in 2 weeks you could be the brightest person, go and learn these 20 AI topics and so on. So everybody's talking about learning, while the world is talking about, can I retire and I've done enough, find a stream, I want to retire by 40. But expectations are really high as well. So talk to me about giving some people some advice about more than the cliche of you learn till you die. Cliches are there.
Yeah.
But you retire in your mind that it's enough. Ma'am, how do you keep going?
I mean, when you said that retire at 40, maybe when I was 35, I was thinking that. Now I'm 40, I'm thinking, no, cannot. and again, retiring, like if you keep the technical term retiring out, retiring does not mean that you're going to stop learning. I mean, in the retirement age also, I think you'll be learning. So I think the advice that I can give you, I mean, this is something that I talk to all the batches that join on a monthly basis to our organization, that whichever the career trajectory that you are in, you might be joining as a first career, mid-career, very senior person. If you stop learning and applying that, right, like learning is one and application is another one, which has a connection to it, that's where you get bored. In my opinion, like, whatever you do, it could be the career, it could be outside. If you realize that you don't learn something new, if you don't have that, wow, this is an aha moment for you, that's the time people really kind of switch off. So whatever that you do in your life, it could be that you're working, it could be that you're contributing something back to the society. If it does not give you this food for thought, if it does not give you a different perspective, that really slows you down. That might be the retirement, in my opinion.
I mean, someone who's 50 years old who thinks I've worked a lifetime needs to understand 20 years you went to school and probably 5 years of university. It's actually 25 that you worked. And God willing, if you live well, you have another 25, 30 to go statistically, and you have a whole life ahead of you. So retirement is perhaps a derogatory term for life. You may move on from a job to something greater.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for your time. We've had a wonderful chat, and I think we covered some very essential parts for many that is watching this, so that they can understand that there's life beyond life and lot to learn, to be agile, to have that passion and keep going in life. Thilanka, thank you very much for this segment. I've had a great time. I hope you did too.
Absolutely, Niroshan. I mean, a conversation with you is always a amazing thing. It's not only this. We've had many chats, so it's always something to learn. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to converse with you today. Thank you.
Thank you.